Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shingde Bhagavan ki jai. Isopanisad ki jai. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate. Ishavaishamidam sarvam Jatkinja Jagatyam Jagat Tena Taktena Bunshitaha Magritaha Kashasvidanam. Kurvani vaha karmani jajiva chakshatam samaha evam tvayina nyate tosti na karma lipyate nare. Asurya namate loka andena tamasavritaha tamste pritya vigachanti ye ke chatmahono janaha. Anejadika manaso javyo nena divam aprabham purvam asat tadavatu jnana teti tistat tasmin apramata visvadadati. Tanejati tanejati tadure tadvantike tadantarasya sarvasya tadu sarvasya syabhayataha. Yastu sarvani bhutani Atmani evanupasyati sarvabhutesu chatmanam tato na vigupsate. Yasmin sarvani bhutani Admeva budvijanataha tatra ko mahakaha soka ekadvam anupasyataha. Shariram Sudama Papavidam Kavir Manisi Paribu Swayambhu Yata Tatya Toratanya Dadach Shasvadipyaha Samabhyaha. Tamahapavisanti ye vidyam upasyate tato bhuyarvate tamo yayu vidyayam rataha. Anyade muhur vidyaya Anyadahura vidyaya iti sushrumadhiranam yenasta vichakshire. Vidyam cha yastad vedo bhayam saha avidyaya mritum tidva vidyayam mritam asnute. Andam tamaha pavissanti ye sambhutim upasyate tato bhuyaiva tamo yayu sambhutam rataha. Anyadivur sambhavat anyadahur sambhavat iti susrumadhiranam yenastad vichakshire. Sambhutim cha vinasam cha yastad vedo bhayam saha vinasena mritim tidva sambhutam ritam asnute. Hiranmayana patena satyasya bhitam mukam tatvam vusama pavrinu satya dharmaya dristaye. Sanika seyamasuya pajapatya ruharasvi samohate jaha yatte rupam kayanatamam tate prasyami yo savaso purushaha sohamasmi. Usanika seyamasuya pajapatya yoharasmi samahate jo yatte rupam kayanatamam tate pasyami yo savaso purushaha sohamasmi. Vayuranilam amritam atedam basmantam sariram om kratos smara kritam smara kratos smara kritam smara. Om Agnena patarayasman Vishwani deva vayunani vidvan Yodajmal shuranamino Uyestam te nama utim vedema. Om Tat Sat. Haribol. Okay, Isopanisad ki jai. So, today we're starting mantra 9. Andam tamaha pravishyanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya evate tamo yayu vidyayam rataha.
Andam tamaha pravishyanti ye vidyamupasate tato bhuya evate tamo yayu vidyayam rataha.
Andham, gross ignorance. Tama, darkness. Pravishanti, enter into. Ye, those who. Avidyam, nescience. Upasate, worship. Tata, then that. Bhuya, still more. Eva, like. Te, they. Tama, darkness. Ye, those who. You, also. Vidyayam, in the culture of knowledge. Rata, engaged. Translation. Those who engage in the culture of nescient activities, nescient meaning ignorant, shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. So let's repeat. Those who engage in the culture of nescient activities shall enter into the darkest region of ignorance. Worse still are those engaged in the culture of so-called knowledge. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. This mantra offers a comparative study of vidya and avidya. Vidya meaning knowledge, avidya meaning ignorance. Avidya or ignorance is undoubtedly dangerous, but vidya or knowledge is even more dangerous when mistaken or misguided. This mantra of Isopanisad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education. But the result is that people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect. Do you agree with that? Good. In other words, the more education people have, the more miserable they become. Now you'd think, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. The more education they have, yeah, but it's misguided education. In other words, the more education people have, the more miserable. It's avidya. Now you'd think, wait a minute, in the guise of vidya. The more education they have, that's why. It's like Surpanaka presenting herself in front of Ram and Lakshman as a very beautiful woman. But actually she was a Rakshasini. So that's the same as knowledge. That's why. It's like ignorance disguised as knowledge. Presenting yourself in front of Ram and Lakshman as a very beautiful. As far as vidya is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything, and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, the more he is in darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed towards the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated. The more he is in darkness. So a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated. So why is that? Because so a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education
use all their education
is more dangerous than a civilization in which
to
the
just
masses
increase
of people
sense
are less educated. So why is that? Because and therefore people there are four principles: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So they'll spend tremendous amount of funds on eating, tremendous amount of money on sleeping, tremendous amount of money on mating, and huge amounts of money on defending. So, on eating, tremendous amount of money. Ram was ready to leave Ayodhya to go to the forest. He was going to take his weapons with him. And Sita objected. She said, if you take your weapons, that means you're going to use them. So she gave one of the greatest arguments ever made against weapons. She said, and there was a story of a Brahmin who had a friend. She gave one of the greatest arguments ever made had against used weapons, and he would let the Brahmin play with the weapons, and little by little, the Brahmin became proficient in using the weapons. Then he started killing animals and eating them. So this is what happens when you get these powerful weapons in your hands. You suddenly become falsely empowered, killing animals and eating them. And eventually, because you have them in your hands, you're going to use them. What happens when you get these? And what is a weapon for? It's for killing. Suddenly, so then people get Sita argued with Ram that he should not take his weapons into the forest. Fortunately, Ram didn't listen to her because he needed his weapons in the forest. But she had some good arguments against that. Not take his weapons into the forest. Fortunately, Ram didn't listen. So, the number one, I guess, thing that you have to understand about God is that Sarva Loka Maheshwara. He's the supreme proprietor of everything, of all the lokas. He owns everything in the universe. So you have to understand about God is that the roots of sin is deliberate disobedience of everything, of the laws of nature, by ignoring the proprietorship of the Lord. Remember that? Right? That was at the end of mantra 1. The root of sin is deliberate disobedience to the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship of the Lord. Remember that? Disobeying the laws of nature or the order of the Lord brings ruin to a human being. So, therefore, deliberate disobedience to the laws of nature through disregarding the proprietorship. Here Prabhupada says, this mantra of Isopanisad is more applicable today than at any time in the past. Modern civilization has advanced considerably in the field of mass education. But the result is that the people are more unhappy than ever before because of the stress placed on material advancement to the exclusion of the most important part of life, the spiritual aspect. As far as vidya, or knowledge, is concerned, the first mantra has explained very clearly that the Supreme Lord is the proprietor of everything, and that forgetfulness of this fact is ignorance. The more a man forgets this fact of life, that the Lord is the supreme proprietor of everything, including our body, the more he is in darkness. In view of this, a godless civilization directed toward the so-called advancement of education is more dangerous than a civilization in which the masses of people are less educated, including our body. So is Prabhupada militating here against education? No, what he's concerned about is false education, misleading education, education that dumbs down people to think that they are the proprietor and God is not the proprietor. So when they think they are the proprietor, then they commit all kinds of sinful activities. If they understand that Krishna is the proprietor and they use things correctly in Krishna's service, they are not engaged in sinful activities. Of the different classes of men, karmis, jnanis, and yogis, the karmis are those who are engaged in the activities of sense gratification. And they use things correctly. In a modern civilization, 99.9% of the people are engaged in activities of sense gratification under the flags of industrialism, economic development, altruism, political activism, and so on. In a modern civilization, all these activities are more or less based on satisfaction of the senses to the exclusion of the kind of God consciousness described in the first mantra, and so on. Ishavaishamidam sarvam jatkinja jagatyam jagatina taktina punjataha magadaha kasasridanam. Everything in creation, everything one can perceive is, in other words, everything animate or inanimate is owned and controlled by the Lord. One should therefore accept only those things necessary for himself which are set aside as his quota, and one should not accept other things knowing well to whom they are inanimate. One should use everything else in service of Krishna, knowing well to accept only those things necessary. This is called vidya, and avidya is everything belongs to me. One should not accept other things knowing well to whom they are inanimate. Just like little children, they have, without going to school, without reading books, without being instructed by their parents, they have a sense of proprietorship, personal ownership. Just like little children, many kids become attached to a little blanket. They can't go to sleep unless they have their blanket. If you take it away from them, they cry. Or their toy. So, you have two little girls. Did they fight over things? Become attached to a little blanket. No, they can't go to sleep unless they have their blanket. They don't take it away from them, they cry. They don't say, "This is my toy." So, you have two little girls. Did they fight over things? Become attached to a little few times. You're not at home that much. That's why you don't see. They don't say, "This is my toy." They all fight over those things. They have a sense of proprietorship. But where did they learn that from? You're not at home that much. That's why previous karma. It's ingrown. Due to conditioning. They all fight over those things. They have a sense of proprietorship. In the language of Bhagavad, you're not at home that much. 7:15. People who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudas. No, they said. In the language of Bhagavad, it says 7:15. People who are engaged in gross sense gratification are mudas. No, they said. Okay. I'll think of it in a second. So you have the mudas, the naradamas, the maya pratagyanas, and the asuras. So it says, Namam duskritina mudha papanyante naradama. Maya pratagyana asuram naradama asrita. Namam duskritina and the asuras. The ass, a muda means an ass. The ass is a symbol of stupidity. Those who simply engage in a profitless pursuit of sense gratification are worshipping avidya, according to Sri Isopanisad. And those who play the role of helping this sort of civilization in the name of educational advancement are actually doing more harm than those who are on the platform of gross sense gratification. So the educated people, and those who play the role, who are misleading the less educated people on the path of sense gratification, on under the plea of knowledge, advancement, progressiveness, modern life and everything, they're actually doing more harm because they have education, but they're misusing education and misguiding other people. And that way, they're therefore taking them away from the pursuit of Krishna consciousness. More harm because they have education. Anything that takes you away from Krishna is Maya. Misguiding other people. Anything that takes you away from Krishna is Maya. The advancement of learning by godless people is as dangerous as a valuable jewel on the hood of a cobra. A cobra decorated with a valuable jewel is more dangerous than one not decorated. Why? Because you might want to grab the jewel. And if you try, the cobra will bite you, you'll die. On the hood of a cobra. The advancement of education by godless people is compared to decorations on a dead body. Why? Because you might want to in India, as in many other countries, some people follow the custom of leading a procession with a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual misery of material existence. With a decorated dead body for the pleasure of the lamenting relatives. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. This is a verse from Bhagavad Gita. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. In the third chapter, above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Indrani para ahur indriyabhya paramana. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. Manasastu para budhe yo budhe parasastusa. So this verse, third chapter, and all such activities are aimed towards sense gratification. It's not the third chapter. Oh, yes, it is. Third chapter, 42nd verse. So this verse, third chapter, it says, the working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. It says, the working senses are superior to dull matter. Mind is higher than the senses, intelligence is still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even higher than the intelligence. It says, the working senses are superior to dull matter. Yeah, so that's 3:42. Still higher than the mind, and he, the soul, is even but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Yeah, so that's realization of spiritual values of this. Yes, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Yeah, so that's realization of spiritual values of this. Yes, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Yeah, so that's realization of spiritual values of this. Yes, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence. You can't really say the false ego is above the intelligence because the false ego has been. The false ego is something that is false. It doesn't really. Has no endurance. Let's put it like that. In that sense, it's false. There's only the real ego, and the real ego is not different than the soul, as the eternal servant is from the Lord. It doesn't really. Has no endurance. Let's put it like that. Like if I say, there's only the real ego. Like if you say, I have not $3 bill as the eternal servant. Well, there's no such thing as a $3 bill, right? So if I say $3 bill is superior to the $2 bill, but if there's no $3 bill, how can you say it's superior? If you say, theoretically $3 is superior to a $2 bill. There is a $2 bill, but there's no $3 bill. So if I say $3 bill is superior, it's just like saying if there's no $3 bill. I can say it's superior. If you say, theoretically, $3 is superior to a $2 bill. There is a $2 bill, but there's no $3 bill. So if I say $3 bill is superior, it's just like saying if there's no $3 bill, I can say it's superior. If you say, the dead son of the man. There is a $2. Okay, well, we understand what that means. There was a son, but he's dead. Right? But if you say the third eye of the man, well, do people have three eyes? I understand what that means. There was no, they don't have three eyes. So if you say that there's a $3 bill, it's more than a $2 bill, but there's no $3 bill. People have three eyes. So false ego is not something factual. I mean, because in the sense that it has no duration, it's a temporary $3 bill. So therefore, it's more than a $2 bill. Above the intelligence is the soul. False ego is not something factual. I mean, because in the sense that it has no duration, it's a corruption. It's a temporary thing. It's corrupted. Therefore, so just like you can have a hardness that's been corrupted, can you use it? False ego is not something factual. I mean, so how could it be superior to the intelligence? It's corrupted. It's a temporary thing. It's corrupted. Therefore, so just like you see my point. It's something corrupted. Yeah, it exists, but it's not superior. Because it's corrupted. So how could it be superior to the intelligence? It's corrupted. It's a temporary thing. Real ego and the soul is the same. You see my point. Real ego says, I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. But it's not superior. Because it's corrupted. It's corrupted. It's a corrupted consciousness. Real ego and the soul is the same. Ego is I am. Real ego says, false ego is I am a product of matter. It's not superior. So how can that be superior to intelligence? Intelligence means you can differentiate between matter and spirit. Real ego and the soul is the same. What is superior to intelligence is the soul. I am a product of matter. Okay, that answers your question. So how can that be superior to intelligence? Intelligence means you can differentiate between matter and spirit. Okay, so then what is superior to intelligence is the soul. I am a product of matter. Okay, that answers your question. In the same way, modern civilization is a patchwork of activities meant to cover the perpetual miseries of material existence. What is superior to intelligence is the soul. That's a very profound statement. Okay, that answers your question. All such activities are aimed towards sense gratification, but above the senses is the mind, and above the mind is the intelligence, and above the intelligence is the soul. Thus, the aim of real education should be self-realization. Understand? Your soul and its eternal relationship with Krishna is the mind, and above the mind. When it says self-realization means the following. Thus, the aim of real education it's not an egotistical thing. Understand? You're just absorbed in yourself. That's like egotistic. Self-realization means to understand the difference between your soul and matter, and you understand the difference between your soul and the super soul. And you understand also that matter, your soul, and the super soul all come originally from Krishna. That's called self-realization. And you understand the difference between your soul and the super soul. And you understand also that matter, your soul, and the super soul all come. Any education which does not lead to such realization of the self must be considered avidya, or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance. Yeah, because your whole life you spend on just computer technology, must be considered avidya, or nescience. Steve Jobs, what happens? And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region. You go to, I don't know, Apple Loca. Your whole life you spend on somewhere in Washington State, you know. Steve Jobs, what happened? Yeah. What was he thinking of when he died? Yeah, you go to, I don't know, Apple Loca. Yes. So he went to Apple Loca, some apple orchard in Western Washington. Yeah. What was he thinking? According to the Bhagavad Gita 242 and 715. So he went to Apple Loca. Mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedavadarata and Maya Aprita Jnana. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita 242. Yeah, Imam Paramam. So he went to Apple Loca. Mistaken mundane educators are known as Vedavadarata and Maya Aprita
Ya Imam Paramam
Paramam mistaken mundane educators are known as Ya Imam Pushpitam Bacham Ya Imam Prabhupada Paschitaha Vedavada Rata Parata Nanyat Astitivadina. Okay, 242. Men of small knowledge are very much attached to the flowery words of the Vedas, which recommend various fruitive activities for elevation to the heavenly planets. So they are Veda Vada Rata. What does Veda Vada Rata mean? That means that they're interested in the Vedas, but they're not really following the Vedas. They're supposed followers of the Vedas. The Vedas are supposed to lead us to Krishna, but they just follow those parts of the Vedas that lead them to sense gratification. But they're not really following the Vedas. So they're called Veda Vada Rata. Supposed followers. And then Maya Prita Jnana lead us to Krishna. Those are people who study the Vedas, but they have the wrong conception of what it is. 7:15. And then Maya Prita Namam Dushkatina Mudha Prapadyante Naradama Maya Prita Jnana Asram Bhavam Asrita. They have the wrong conception of what it is. They study the Vedas, 7:15. But their knowledge is stolen by illusion. So Maya Aprita Jnana, their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Veda Vadarata and Maya Aprita Jnana. Yes. Their knowledge is stolen by illusion. So Maya Aprita Jnana. Yes, also. Their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Yes. Veda Vadarata and Maya Aprita Jnana. Yes. Their knowledge is stolen by illusion. They accept phony gurus, phony teachers also. That's true. They may also be atheistic demons, the lowest of men. Those who are Veda Vadarata pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature, but unfortunately, they are completely diverted from the purpose of the Vedas. Pose themselves as very learned in the Vedic literature. In the Bhagavad Gita 15:15, it is said that the purpose of the Vedas is to know the personality of Godhead. But these Veda Vadarata men are not at all interested in the personality of Godhead. On the contrary, they are fascinated by such fruitive activities as the attainment of heaven. I mean, the Swarga, the Deva. As stated in Mantra 1, one should know that the personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything, and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of the necessities of life. Okay, so this is a paraphrase of Mantra 1. Godhead is the proprietor of everything, and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of the necessities of life. Okay, so this is a paraphrase of Mantra 1. Godhead is the proprietor of everything, and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of the necessities of life. Okay, so this is a paraphrase of Mantra 1. As stated in Mantra 1, we should know that the personality of Godhead is the proprietor of everything, and that we must be satisfied with our allotted thing, and that we must that proprietor of everything, and that we must be satisfied with our allotted portions of the necessities of life. So we should be satisfied with whatever Krishna gives us easily. And we should learn to and that we must be satisfied with that, and not be hankering for more and more and more. Otherwise, we will lose much time and effort trying to achieve things that we really don't need. We only need a few things, a few good things in life to be happy. The purpose of all Vedic literature is to awaken this God consciousness in the forgetful living being. And the same purpose is presented in various ways in the different scriptures of the world for the understanding of foolish mankind. Thus, the ultimate purpose of all religions is to bring one back to Godhead. presented in various ways in the different but the Veda-Vada-Rata people, instead of realizing that the purpose of the Vedas is to revive the forgetful soul's lost relationship with the personality of Godhead, take it for granted that such side issues as the attainment of heavenly pleasure for sense gratification, the lust for which causes their material bondage in the first place, are the ultimate end of the Vedas. Such people misguide others by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Sometimes they even condemn the Puranas, which are authentic Vedic explanations for laymen. The Veda-Vada-Ratas give their own explanations of the Vedas, neglecting the authority of great teachers, the Acharyas. They also tend to raise some unscrupulous person from among themselves and present him as the leading exponent of Vedic knowledge. Such Veda-Vada-Ratas are especially condemned in this mantra by the very appropriate Sanskrit words Vidyayam Rataha. Vidyayam refers to the study of the Vedas because the Vedas are the origin of all knowledge. Vidya in this mantra. And Rata means those in Sanskrit. Vidyayam Rataha thus means those engaged in the study of the Vedas. The so-called students of the Vedas are considered herein because they are ignorant of the actual purpose of the Vedas on account of their disobeying the Acharyas. So this is the example. There's one Vedanta society in downtown Seattle. They study the Vedas, but they eat meat. So this is the example. There's one. And they speak of Krishna in a very abstract way, not in a real way. They eat meat, and they just misinterpret everything. So they speak of Krishna in a very abstract way, not in a real way. They eat meat, and they just misinterpret everything. So they search out meanings in every word of the Vedas to suit their own purposes. That's the exact description of this. Huh? Misinterpret everything. Huh? Yes. They do not know that the Vedic literature is a collection of extraordinary books that can be understood only through the chain of disciplic succession. They make their own disciplic succession. Yes. One must approach a bona fide spiritual master in order to understand the transcendental message of the Vedas. That is the direction of the Mundaka Upanishad 1-12. These Veda-Vada-Rata people, however, have their own acharyas who are not in the chain of transcendental succession. Thus, they progress into the darkest region of ignorance. Okay, so this verse from the Mundaka Upanishad. Transcendental succession. Tad Vigyanatram Sagurum Evabhikachet Samipani Shrutayam Brahma. Okay, so this verse from the Samipani Shrutayam Brahma Nistam. Tad Vigyanatram Sagurum Evabhikachet. That's right. Samipani Shrutayam Brahma. Okay, Samipani Shrutayam Brahma Nistam. That's right. Yeah, what is it? 1, 2, 12. 1, 2, 12. Yeah, 180. Exactly right. Tad Vigyanartam Savgurum Evabhikachet Samipani Srotram Brahmanistam 2:12. To learn the transcendental subject matter, one must approach a spiritual master. In doing so, he should carry fuel to burn and sacrifice. The symptom of such a spiritual master is that he is expert in understanding the Vedic conclusion, and therefore he constantly engages in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The symptom of such a spiritual master is that he is expert in understanding the Vedic conclusion, and therefore he constantly engages in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The symptom of such a spiritual master is that he is expert in understanding the Vedic conclusion, and therefore he constantly engages in the service of the Supreme Personality of God. Okay. These Veda-Vada-Rata people, however, have their own acharyas who are not in the chain of transcendental succession. Thus they progress into the darkest region of ignorance by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. These Vedavadarata people, however, have their own
fall even
acharyas
further
who are not
into
in the
ignorance
chain of
than those who have no
succession.
knowledge of the
Thus they
Vedas at
progress
all.
into the
So now
darkest
you understand
region
this verse
of ignorance by
says
misinterpreting
that
the Vedic literature.
those who engage in a culture of neshit activities, meaning sense gratification, the gross karmis, enter into the darkest region of ignorance. But worse still are those in the culture of so-called knowledge, so the false Vedantas who know so many who know Sanskrit very well, who know so many Sanskrit verses better than we do, but they are doing what? They progress into the darkest region of ignorance by misinterpreting the Vedic literature. Who know so many Sanskrit verses? They fall even further into ignorance than those who have no knowledge of the Vedas at all. The Maya Pratyajnana are self-made gods. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other God. Like who? Hiranyakashipu. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other God. Yes, that's a very good one. Not our, the other one. Such men think that they themselves are God. Such men think that they themselves are God and that there is no need of worshipping any other God. They will agree to worship an ordinary man if he happens to be rich, but they will never worship the personality of Godhead. Such men, unable to recognize their own foolishness, never consider how it is that God can be entrapped by Maya, his own illusory they will never worship the personality of Godhead. It doesn't make sense. If God were ever entrapped by Maya, Maya would be more powerful than God. Such men say that God is all-powerful, but they do not consider that if He is all-powerful, there is no possibility of His being overpowered by Maya. These self-made gods cannot answer all these questions very clearly. They are simply satisfied to have become God themselves. No possibility of His being overpowered by Maya. So here's a question. There are certain questions that the Mayavadis cannot answer adequately. So, number one, so here's a question. There are certain questions that the Mayavadis, they say that Krishna is also subject to the laws of material nature. So, number one, so here's a question. But if He's God, how can He be subject to the energy that He created? Is also subject to the laws of material nature. So their explanations are nonsensical. But if He's God, then there's another fundamental question that they can't. Even more fundamental question they cannot explain. So their explanations are nonsensical. But if He's God, then there's another fundamental question. Second chapter of Bhagavad Gita cannot explain. Verse number 12. So their explanations are nonsensical. 6. But if He's God, then there's another fundamental chapter of Bhagavad Gita cannot explain. Verse number 12. 6. But if He's God, then second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, according to the Vaibhasika philosophy, the so-called soul or Atma vanishes along with the deterioration of body. So in any case, whether Arjuna accepted the Vedic conclusion that there is an atomic soul, or he did not believe in the existence of the soul, he had no reason to lament. According to this theory, since there are so many living entities generating out of matter every moment, and so many of them are being vanquished every moment, there's no need to grieve for such incidents. If there were no rebirthers for the soul, Arjuna had no reason to be afraid of being affected by sinful reactions due to his killing his grandfather and teacher. But at the same time, Krishna sarcastically addressed Arjuna as Mahabahu, my Arjuna, because he, at least, least, did not accept the theory of Vaisika, which leaves aside the Vedic wisdom. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. That's not what I was looking for. I'm on the wrong page, I'm sorry. As a Kshatriya, Arjuna belonged to the Vedic culture, and it behooved him to continue to follow its principles. On page, the second chapter, 23rd verse. The Mayavadi cannot explain how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance, and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. Nor was it ever possible to cut the individual souls from the original Supreme Soul. Rather, the individual souls are eternally separated parts of the Supreme Soul. Because they are atomic individual souls eternally, they are prone to be covered by the illusory energy. Thus, they become separated from the association of the Supreme Lord, just as the sparks of a fire, although one in quality with the fire, are prone to be extinguished when out of the fire. Thus, in the Varaha Purana, the living entities are described as separated parts and parcels of the Supreme. They are eternally so, according to the Bhagavad Gita also. So, even after being liberated from illusion, the living entity remains a separate identity, as is evident from the teaching of the Lord to Arjuna. Arjuna became liberated by the knowledge received from Krishna, but he never became one with Krishna. So the question that the Mayavadis cannot explain is how the individual soul came into existence simply by ignorance, and consequently became covered by the illusory energy. How the individual soul came into existence. Do you understand the question? Simply by ignorance, and consequently became covered. What is the origin of the individual soul? How the individual soul came into existence. Do you understand the question? Yes. And consequently became not only the origin of the individual soul, part and parcel of Krishna, who also has no origin. Do you understand the question? Yes. It's not that he comes into existence. He doesn't come into existence. Always has existence. He is part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, so that's the one question they can't really explain it's not that he comes into existence. He doesn't come into existence. Always has existence. He is part and parcel of Krishna. Okay, so that's the one question they can't really explain. It's not that it comes into existence. It doesn't come into existence. It always has existence. Okay, so that's the one question they can't. How can you listen? You tell me. How do you understand illusion? But it looks like it exists. How can you listen? You tell me. Both. How do you understand illusion? But it looks like it exists. But in order to tie him up, she has to be an illusion. You tell me. She cannot think that he is God. I know, but it's still a type of Maya. But it looks like it exists. But in order to tie him up, she has to be an illusion. No, of course not. It brings her closer. But she cannot think that he is God. An illusion, illusory state. I know, but it's still a type of Maya. But it looks like it. But in order to tie him up, she has to be an illusion. Oh, they can talk about it, but they don't really understand what it is. An illusion, illusory state. I know, but it's still a type of Maya. But in order to tie him up, she has to be an illusion. Oh, they can talk about it, but they don't really understand what it is. Yeah, but right away she forgot it, so she could continue her pastime. Right away she was put back into Yoga Maya. She just had a glimpse of the universal form in the mouth of Krishna, and then all of a sudden she went back into a state of pastime. Right away she was put back into Yoga Maya. She just had a glimpse. So, can you understand universal form in the mouth of Krishna, and then all of a sudden she went back into a state of pastime. Right away she was put back into Yoga Maya. Does Mother Yasoda understand that she's in a state of illusion? Can you understand universal form? Okay. Do the Mayavadis understand
Does Mother Yasoda understand that
that they're
state of
worshiping something that doesn't exist? Okay. So you see, it's very difficult to understand illusion. Mayavadis understand whether it's Yoga Maya or Mahamaya, worshiping something that doesn't exist. Okay. So you see, it's very difficult to understand illusion. You can, by the mercy of Guru and Krishna, begin to recognize how Mahamaya is working. So you see, it's very difficult to understand illusion. Like, for example, you can, by the mercy of Guru, let's say I fall asleep right now. Begin to recognize and I say, tiger, 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 tiger. Now you know I'm sleeping. Like, for example, I'm having some kind of a dream. Do you see any tiger? Let's say I fall asleep right now. But I say tiger, tiger, and I begin to sweat, moving around and scared. Like, for example, I'm having some kind of a dream. Do you see any tiger? Is there a tiger? No, there's no tiger. But I say tiger, tiger, and I begin to sweat, moving around. It's a type of illusion. It's an illusory state, but it's affecting my body. Some kind of a dream. So I'm sweating. Is there a tiger? I'm scared. I'm breathing heavily. So it's an illusory state, but it's affecting my body. Can we understand illusion? We will never really understand it completely, but we can recognize it. Breathing heavily. When you have self-control, you can recognize it. So it's an illusory state, but it's affecting just like if you see a snake, let's say there was a snake right now, right here, we'll never really understand it completely, and it had its head up like this. What would you do? When you have self-control, you can recognize. Would you say, "Oh, look at that wonderful snake"? Try and go up to it. No, if you see a snake, let's say there was a snake right now, right? You'll never really understand it completely. And it head up like this. Go call Namarata or something. Right? You say, "Oh, look at that wonderful snake." Try and go up to it. Scare the snake away. Say, "Hey, what are you doing?" Yeah, the snake. "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll leave right away." So you see, you can recognize Maya, but can you really understand it? No, because it's something illusory. How are you going to completely understand it? You're not going to completely understand it, but you can recognize it. Just like when Krishna first saw Aghasura, he was just amazed. It's his own energy, but he was amazed. It's a gigantic snake with a big mouth open, but you can recognize it. And all his friends walked into it. When Krishna first saw Aghasura, you have to read that description. When he sees Aghasura, he's like amazed. But he was amazed. But he's God. He knows everything. He still was amazed by it. So the same with us. When we see Maya acting, and we recognize it, we're still amazed. It's unbelievable. But he's God. He knows everything. Like, for example, I was amazed by it. When he was a young boy in Calcutta, there was a Muslim Hindu riot. And we recognize in Calcutta. There's a lot of Muslims in Calcutta. And a lot of Hindus also. Like, for example, no, way before that. Much earlier. He was still a little boy. He was like 8 or 9 years old. So, and there was one Muslim running after him. So he was a little, but he knew he was a Hindu kid, so he ran, was hiding. And when the massacre was over, and there was one Muslim, they piled all the bodies in this central place in Calcutta. And Prabhupada walked by it and looked at it. He couldn't tell when all the bodies were dead and piled one on top of it. He couldn't tell which one was a Muslim, which one was a Hindu. They were all, one guy's arm is over somebody else's mouth, and somebody's leg is on somebody's head. They're all mixed together. Their clothes are all disheveled. So before they were dead, right? And they were all walking around. You could tell this one's a Muslim, this one's a Hindu. But when they were all dead and all their bodies all piled together, right? And the Muslim is hugging the Hindu. They're both dead, right? So, yeah, and Prabhupada looked at it, and he's only a little 8, 9-year-old boy, and it doesn't make sense, right? And here they were, just an hour ago they were killing each other. Now they're all dead and they're hugging each other, right?
So, you see, you can see Maya, you can recognize it, but can you really understand illusion? That's the thing. It's an illusion. You're very easily tricked by it. But you can learn to recognize it through Krishna consciousness.
Isn't there a story where Narad wants to experience Maya?
Yes.
He gets married and they went to come.
He doesn't really get married. It happens like an illusion.
Right.
And then his wife and children drown, and he sees them drown, and he's devastated. And then Krishna says, "Hey, Narada, I asked you to fetch some water." And then he wakes up and he sees Krishna, and he realizes the whole thing was a dream. It was an illusion, because he had asked Krishna, "Show me your Maya potency," and Krishna smiled. He didn't say anything. But then a little while later, he goes into this state of illusion, and it's real. It's real. He experiences all these things: getting married, having kids, becoming prosperous, and all of a sudden there's a big flood, and his wife and kids one by one drown right in front. He can't save them, and somehow or other he saves his life, and he is exhausted, and he's crying, and he's grieving. All of a sudden he wakes up and he realizes the whole thing was a dream, but it seemed real. Just like I might be dreaming of a tiger, and I think it's real. You're watching me, in my dream, dreaming and saying, I'm calling out, "Tiger, tiger," right? And you say, "Hey, Harivilas is in Maya. There's no tiger." Yeah.
Why one is kept in the illusion? Because of the karma or because of the
Because of desires, Prabhu. Desires. As soon as you have desires separate from Krishna, you get caught by Maya. Right? Like, for example, why did you come to America? Huh?
money.
Money. So, before you came to the temple, what was your life like in America? Did you have any bad habits? Huh? Eating what? Yeah, non-veg, yeah. You see. Now, at that time, did you think there might be something wrong with it? No. So you were completely in Maya. So in that state, you wouldn't be able to think, you wouldn't be able to understand that it's actually an illusion. It's only now that you look at it and you say, "Gee, I was in Maya." But at that time, you didn't understand. You thought it was normal to eat meat, run around shopping, make money. That was the American dream. Come here, make money, go run around shopping, eat meat, and so forth. You see, so that when I say it's difficult to understand illusion, yeah, you can recognize it through Krishna consciousness, but to understand it, how can you understand something that's an illusion? In your dream, when you're seeing the tiger running after you and you're running away, do you understand that it's a dream at that time? No, you think it's real. You see how dangerous Maya is. That's why, we can discuss it, and you can come to an understanding how to recognize it. Just like when you see the snake here, right, the cobra, I'm going to stay away from that thing, right? It's dangerous, right? But a little kid might not understand that. Out of ignorance, they'll come and play with the snake. Yeah, because they don't understand. They think it's like a toy. So when you came to America, you thought, "Oh, this is life, eat meat and run around, shop and make money." Now, if someone told you at that time, "Prabhu, you're completely a Maya," what would you have said? Yeah, of course, he would not accept. Yeah. Let's say someone is engaged in heavy sense gratification, and you interrupt them and say, "Would you like to come to the Bhagavad Gita class?" What would you say? You say, "Get out of here, you crazy man? You crazy or what? Don't bother me. doing what I have to do here. Go away. You know. You see that you get into a state of illusion, you don't understand it. I mean, you're bewildered by it. Let's see. I mean, I could give you thousands of examples. I won't, because they become grosser and grosser, right? But just understand, you know, rather than try and understand Maya, just try and recognize it, right? So when Surpanaka came, they were not, you know, I mean, of course it's Lord Ram and Lakshman, but they were just playing with her like she's, you know, a little crazy, right? But actually, she was a terrible demon. And how about Putana? Putana came, she was, you know, her real size was 12 miles long, but she presented herself just like a beautiful goddess. And Mother Yasoda let her in her yard and let Krishna, you know, suckle her. She gave Krishna to her. She thought she was a demigoddess. Right? Very good disguise. So did Surpanaka. Yeah. So you don't really completely understand an illusion, but you can recognize it if you're trained and stay away from it. Just like you can recognize the cobra and you stay away from it. Now, if you didn't know what a cobra was and you see it, you might think it's a plaything or something out of ignorance, you know. That's what we're doing too. Because we have not trained to recognize Maya, we think it's, you know, it's fun. But once you learn to recognize it, then you stay away from it. You're not going to go near the cobra, right? And in the same way, fools run in where angels fear to tread. Fools run in, just like you see big lines of people going into the casino. It's like going into the mouth of an alligator. Now, do you go casinos? I don't know. I would never. I don't think I've ever been in a casino. I don't remember one time ever going to it. Why? Because I know it's a place. First of all, it's too hard to make money. Why would I go somewhere where I'm going to lose my money right away? Right? It doesn't make sense. When you have to work so hard to make money. Right? So why would you go somewhere where you could lose it immediately? Right? So, you know, you have a little bit of knowledge, you recognize this is not a place for me, right? But other people, they're rushing. That's why fools run in where angels fear to tread. Okay? So you can recognize Maya, but you'll never really fully understand. So, are there things that we can recognize but not understand? Yeah, a cobra, for example, I can but I don't understand, you know, how it works. But I recognize it as something dangerous, right? Therefore, I stay away from it. Yeah. Okay, so I guess we'll stop right there. Are there any questions?